What up, my freaks? Ruinous in sight here. Part 2 of my Total Warhammer 2 modded Throgg campaign. As we saw last time, a couple of lords immediately confederated on the start, being the Aeslings and the Varg with Surtha Eka, the god of chariots. So that'll be nice. We got a fairly good start right off the bat with a bunch of territories easily shored up. Now this can change very, very quickly as we are in Norsca, and if the other Norscans declare war on us, I mean, it sounds like we're going to be able to hold on to these territories particularly easily. Also, over here, if Kislev declares war on us, oh, I should say when Kislev declares war on us, Tower of Crack can't hold, the Bay of Blades can't hold, so this is all going to be an issue, and yeah, well, we'll deal with it as it comes. Now, last time we ended off right outside the Skull Island, and a lot of you are probably wondering why I would take such a stupid risk this early in the campaign, considering the fact that we basically have nothing but starting basic units against the Skull Island, which will spawn with a bunch of tier 4 and 5 units at the very least. It'll spawn with either... if I'm remembering, it can spawn with 1 to 3 artillery pieces, something like at least a Necrofex Colossus or a Rotting Leviathan. I've seen sometimes it go with several Rotting Prometheans as well, and then of course we have a bunch of Depth Guard units. Just like 4 Depth Guard unit will probably be able to destroy all of this by themselves. So it's definitely very, very... Let's end the turn while I talk. It's definitely very risky to do so. My reasoning here is that... Skaven, you want a non-aggression pact? No, we're going to kill you later. My reasoning here is that Throgg will never, most likely, come up this way again. He is going to either... He's going to either win this or lose this battle. Ultimately, it doesn't matter as long as we don't lose our rare units, our trolls and our frostworm. I don't really care if every single one of the berserkers die, because we just rebuild them. And we are losing money anyway, so it wouldn't be a huge deal. If we win this, we get a major influx of XP and gold. If we lose this, it's not a huge loss, but once again, the likelihood of Throgg personally ever coming back up here is pretty much nil. Because as soon as we're done with Norsca, he's going to be down here, and he's not going to march all the way to the top of the map, because that'll be a waste of time. And I might never even build another lord up this close, so I feel like I'd rather just try this right now. So here we go. We'll lose it, win it, I don't care. It really depends on what we luck into. Like, if it's a type of units that are really good at killing our units, it's going to be bad. Let's see, Great Horde, Foe in Battle, or... Raid the Cove. We don't need to read this because we're familiar with what it says. And let's see what we got here. Oh, I think we got a lucky spawn here. This isn't too bad. I mean, there's definitely some frightening units here, but we got a Rotting Leviathan, which I would much rather face off against instead of the Necrofex Colossus. The trolls can eventually surround it and kill it. Our goal, I think, will be to take the artillery. It is a little bit annoying that they have 2 carronades and a mortar, so they have 3 artillery. I think it can spawn with only 1 in theory. But we should be able to run those down with the doggos and with the frostworm, then turn around, kill their lord, while the depth guard and their gunners kill all of our marauders, but that's just fine. We also have our 3 units of anti-large javelin hunters that we can focus the Rotting Leviathan. That's the plan anyway. Obviously, we are going to make this a cinematic battle and try our darndest to win it. Let's get to it. Alrighty, here we go. I am very, very excited for this battle. A Skull Island only a few turns in. I feel like the best times in this game, and actually in most games, are the times when you feel like you could lose at any second. The desperate fights, so those are always great. So let's see what we can do here. Now, we are facing against an enemy that has 3 artillery pieces, whereas we have none. So they definitely have an advantage there. I did try to spread our army out, and we are going to try to go for a lot of rock, paper, scissors type tactics because we need to maximize the amount of damage that we do. We got to keep in mind that our Marauder Hunters with axes are good at... using armor, doing the armor-piercing damage, so we can use them to focus down the depth guard, which are very, very dangerous. But one of the problems with the depth guard, amazing unit that they are, an amazingly cool-looking unit that they are, is how disgustingly fragile they are. And I do believe SFO buffs them up a little bit in terms of that, but they are still very, very fragile. And I'm not entirely sure why that's the case. Maybe they have low HP or something like that, but I recall them always dying very, very easily, despite the fact that they're armored vampiric units. Like, these guys should be tough as nails, but I guess they'd be too powerful if they were as tough as the regular vampires. Anyway, speaking of rock, paper, scissors, that's a job for the Marauder Hunters. Then we got the Marauder Hunters with javelins, which will be facing down the rotting Leviathan over here. I'm really glad that we lucked out and the Leviathan spawned instead of the Necrofex Colossus, which could add its cannon fire to all this. But, hey. This thing is still a fairly beefy tank. We also have a dragon moving up on the flanks. Everybody else, even the wolves, are staying behind. What we need to do is try to draw the enemy army out, and I was wondering whether this would be the case, because the enemy seemed to want to move some of its units forward. This is not a good move by the enemy AI. I don't know why they decided to do this. Obviously, if this was the player in charge, they probably would have just kept back and fired its artillery and with its range advantage. But the AI decided to charge some of its units. Throgg moving around, dancing out here so that he doesn't get hit by those carronades. Of course, some of the carronades are hitting our regular marauders, but once again, I've already stated, I really don't give a damn how many of these guys dies. And Throgg really, really doesn't give a damn how many of these guys die. They are not beasts after all, but men. And there we go, Throgg coming in. He gets one of his puke sprays on the depth guard, but does barely any damage there. I was a little bit disappointed in that, but it's okay. It's okay. What I should have done was probably waited, but as soon as they engage Throgg, he's not going to be able to use it anyway, so I'd like to get it off cooldown. The same thing is going to have to happen with the dragon here. I'm moving it up to the side, going to try to hit an enemy with the breath and then back it up so it doesn't get wrecked by the artillery and all the range firepower that the enemy has to their advantage. There we go. We do have 2 units of depth guard chasing Throgg. Now, a 3rd unit of depth guard over here. This is, once again, really good for us because they're forcing some of the best units that they have, probably the best units that they have, to isolate themselves. And we can kill them at our leisure. And, in fact, the enemy is kind of helping us here by dropping some of their own mortar shells on top of their own depth guard. Not that it's doing an insane amount of damage, but it's almost like this artillery is working for us a little. Beautiful. And then I'm not moving our entire army together as a blob. Obviously, the reason for this is that since the enemy has artillery, we need to be conservative with which units we send forth and sacrifice, because they're going to get hit by a lot of artillery. They're going to take a lot of extra damage. We need to have enough units to keep our trolls smacking and our range units firing. All right, here we go. First charge of the battle, we got our Marauders going to hold the line, or at least try to hold the line against these depth guard, and Throgg is going to distract these depth guard. The reason for this, these guys have polearms, so we don't want Throgg touching them or them touching Throgg. He, hands off Throgg. And these guys are anti-infantry, so Throgg can deal with them. So begins the basic rock, paper, scissors elements here. And here we go. He's going to smack. Oh, wow. He destroyed a model in a single hit. That's pretty good. That is definitely pretty good. And here come the javelins. Now, I know I said I wanted the Marauder Hunters firing at these guys, but of course the Marauder Hunters are close quarters infantry, and they need to get a lot closer before they can attack these guys. Now, I do wonder if the anti-large bonus comes into play with regards to friendly fire, because the javelins are, of course, anti-large, but Throgg is... Oh, wow. That's a scary sight. Yeah, Throgg is, of course, Throgg is a large unit, so it would be... I am curious if that is the case. He's so happy, though. He's having a good time. Alright, and over here, we did send a Marauder Great Axe unit to duel with these Depth Guard, and here come our Marauder Hunters. Since these guys have exposed their backs like this, we can just chuck axes into their backs. Oh, that's a nice animation. That is a very nice animation. I'm obviously not sending the wolves yet. We need the wolves to stay alive because we need to get them to attack the artillery and attack enemy range units. We're going to have to bide our time. In the meantime, we also have a Frostworm moving in, and I saw that there is another Depth Guard unit here, so it would be best to breathe on it, try to take it off the field as fast as possible. It's not going to destroy it, but it is going to do a fairly decent amount of damage because it's standing like this, so we can attack it in a perpendicular breath attack instead of headlong, like the breath or the puke from Throgg that failed. This should do quite a bit more damage. I wish I'd moved the dragon up a little bit closer because I feel like a bit of the breath went a little bit short. But this unit still got decimated, more than half HP down, so I'm very, very happy there. A lot of blood for an undead unit. You'd feel like they were a little bit more bloodless, but maybe since they're vampiric, they hold more blood in them. And there we go. Looks like this Depth Guard unit is getting wrecked. And yes, Throgg will take some damage here, both to the Depth Guard themselves as well as friendly fire. But Throgg has Troll Regenerations, one of the benefits, yet another benefit, and something that once again goes in our favor with regards to these guys just coming out here and fighting, because Throgg can take a bunch of damage and then regenerate it after just sitting back. I used to do this with Vargulfs with regards to the vampire counts all the time. Send in a couple Vargulfs, do a bunch of damage, send them out, wait for them to regenerate to full HP, and then send them right back in. It's always fun to do. And there we go. Man, look at this. It's just like a forest of javelins out here. And how are these guys doing in the meantime? Well, let's check out the throwing axes, shall we? There we go. That's certainly a lot of axes coming in. Like, how many axes do these guys have? Like, does each one carry a sack of axes into battle? I feel like they should do more damage, but have a lot less ammunition than have fairly decent ammunition, and each one be able to throw like 100 axes. Although I suppose the javelin ones also suffer from that, but I suppose if you have a quiver full of javelins, it's a lot easier to carry than like a freaking ton of axes. But anyway, these guys taking some damage, not a lot of models having died. We're also getting some friendly fire into our own Marauders, but this is actually working quite well here. And the Depth Guard are falling. In the meantime, the third unit of Depth Guard, and yes, I know that they are polearms, but I did send in our trolls, led by the Bile Troll, to attack them. The trolls shouldn't actually take a lot of damage because we are still being able to use our Marauders as a meat shield. They can all die, take the hits for the trolls, and then the trolls can actually dish out the damage. I like how the units actually look up at monstrous units when they fight them. Oh, poor little guy. You're gonna have a bad time here. Swing, and it actually caught the guy that was standing behind him. That's kind of funny. And did he die too? Alrighty, let's get back to normal speed. As you can see, I moved the dragon or the frostworm, and yes, once again, I'm calling it dragon, out of the way. This Depth Guard unit is just about done, and I am going to move Throgg out of the way to help out with something. Pretty sure I sent them to help out with these guys. They are also crumbling. They've taken a lot of damage being attacked by those trolls, and there are way too many trolls for them to deal with. The Caranets haven't actually retargeted our trolls. I'm not sure why the enemy AI decided to do that. Really, they should have been trying to kill our trolls instead of our infantry with Caranets. Because once again, who gives a damn about our infantry? Now, our Marauder champions regular Marauders with great weapons have routed, and the enemy Depth Guard are moving in to chase down our range units, but they're just about dead as well. We do also move a Marauder Spear unit to intercept, and these guys should be done very, very quickly. I love how fast they run, though. Alrighty, and that is just about it for the enemy separate force, their leading force, which is pretty damn good for us. The enemy seems to have gotten a wee bit upset after that happened, and has now decided to move in their main, the bulk of their forces. This is once again going to be good for us because their artillery are going to be all the way behind here, and you can see our Frostworm moving up, getting ready to capitalize on that. Also, we are going to be moving our wolves here, hiding behind these hills. I believe the enemy can still see them, but I'm not 100% sure. Probably not when they get behind this hill. Either way, This is a nice approach because they can't really get hit by anything except the mortars from here, and then they can charge at will. We are also resetting up our front line over here and changing up our positioning. The Marauder Hunters moving over here in a counterpoint to the enemy Rotting Leviathan, because there are anti-large units that are going to be focusing them. Throgg himself is going to be moving all the way over here. Oh, there he goes, because his target is going to be the enemy lord, and the main line, of course, is going to be just set up here to distract the enemy with our own losses. We also have our own great weapon, another great weapon unit, the one that has survived, moving around, hopefully to attack the enemy range units, and that's just about it for the setup here. The close quarters infantry staying on this side because they can still dish out the damage and act as flankers. And here we go, we got the wolves charging the artillery now that the enemy has exposed them. Very, very stupid move. Always have a unit protecting, or two, protecting your artillery, depending on what the enemy has. And these guys should drop very, very quickly, because of course they can't really defend against this sort of thing, or really anything. One thing I did notice was, unfortunately, the Frostworm isn't really good at killing artillery. Like, it drops here, but not only does this artillery keeps firing, the Frostworm doesn't get a lot of kills. It seems like it's actually better at single target attacks, despite being a dragon. Well, I mean, the Breath is a great AoE attack, but it just doesn't do enough damage to this. I mean, look, the Wolves have basically dropped this Carronade and this Carronade to, what, 75? This one's at, like, 70. Maybe 60% HP. This one's at, like, 75. Whereas the Dragon's been, or Frostworm has done nothing. And I really dislike how it doesn't stop the enemy from firing. If a Dragon's eating you, well, I guess it's an undead unit, but obviously the living units behave the exact same way. I just feel like they would stop firing. Anyway, the rotting Leviathan, rather, has moved in, and we are going to immediately target it with our Javelin Marauders. Here we go. And this thing's going to get sprayed down by the Javelin rain. A lot of those javelins, of course, landing on its carapace, but I don't know whether it actually has any kind of bonus to defenses from getting hit on the carapace. I wish that it did. Like, it should take a lot less damage when attacked from the back or from the sides, shouldn't it? I feel like it should be a massive reduction, just to buff these little guys up. Although maybe they haven't. It's been a while since I've played the Vampire Coast. And here we go. These vampire gunnery mobs are going to get attacked by these two units of Marauders and tied up. And Throgg, in the meantime, has moved around all the enemies while the distractions are occurring, heading straight for the enemy lord. Now, the enemy lord is a polearm wielder and has the lure of death, so he could use life leeching, but it appears that he used... what is this? He used Spirit Leech on a bunch of Marauders. Man, the Marauders are really doing work for us as a meat shield here, aren't they? Beautiful. And there we go. These trolls, the Norsca Ice Trolls, are of course anti-infantry, and that's why we send them against these zombie pirate deckhands mob. Because they have no armor piercing, they don't need to pierce armor. Meanwhile, the Depth Guard units are being attacked by the regular Norscan trolls, which do less damage, but they do armor piercing damage. So once again, rock, paper, scissors is in. We're also trying to charge all the range units to keep them from destroying our stuff, and Throgg is going after their lord, because of course the vampires, all the vampire factions suffer a massive debuff as soon as the enemy lord is dead. So, I don't imagine this is going to go too well for the enemy lord. That looked painful. Let's see how much HP you have. Under half. Yeah, every hit brings them down by like 15%. That's pretty darn nice. And he's just about dead already. And down he goes, exploded, lost an arm. You call yourself a vampire, Throgg obliterated you, and Throgg has actually gained HP in the meantime. We got another breath coming in and absolutely obliterating the zombie pirate gunnery mob unit, and it looks like the chain route is getting ready to come in. The Frostworm is also about to land, rear charge these units, cause more debilitating shocks to the enemy morale. Damn, look at this field of corpses, though. And I mean corpses that are lying down, not so much corpses that are standing. A breath is quite effective, and this the Frostworm also debuffs on contact, so that's lovely. We also got the range units being charged by the rest of our wolves, which are doing work, preventing them from firing, especially into the backs of our units over here and our Frost Dragon. We also have our Marauder Hunters getting ready to countercharge this zombie pirate deckhands mob, trying to do as much damage to them as possible before they manage to charge these hounds. And I believe the enemy main line is just about destroyed. All of these guys are in a critical binding because their lord died, plus they're suffering plenty of morale shocks. The enemy rotting Leviathan, their tanky unit, is also now fading and is just about to die. Let's watch that death animation. And down you go, little fella. Oh, poor little guy. Adorable. And it looks like this battle is just about over. Nothing remains on the field. Everything is crumbling. And we seem to have made out like bandits, or made out like raiders, I should say, because we suffered very, very few casualties, considering that we're mostly very, very basic trash units, and not only that, but unupgraded, because Throgg is not going to get the Marauder upgrade line, so these are just the trashiest. Ah, what a beautiful battle. Glorious. Absolutely freaking glorious. That battle went amazingly well. That was one of the rare situations where I bother with rock, paper, scissors tactics. Most of the time, I feel like the AI is dead and it has no chance at winning, so I don't really bother microing too hard and just try to enjoy the actual battles. But this one, I felt like it was... the enemy had a decent chance, so I went ahead and did the whole rock, paper, scissors thing with the regular Norse controls, the ones that have armor piercing, hitting the depth guard, and with the regular Norse and ice trolls hitting the regular infantry units because they're infantry killers. We had the hounds chase down and kill all the artillery. Well, it's pretty standard. I mean, that one I do always. We had the marauder hunters with javelins wrecking face and destroying both depth guard and then focusing down that Leviathan, which was held in place by a garbage unit of marauders. We had the dragons, we had Throgg obliterate the enemy lord, and of course we had the marauder hunters with the axes destroy the depth guard. Everything went well there, I think, and I hope you guys enjoyed that battle, because I sure as hell did. It was a risk and it did pay off. We're gonna get sacrificing, take more cash out of this. We also got vile knowledge for vampire. Oh, it's a mission issue, damn. But still. And let's see, raiders, not pirates. Some pirate you were out, it's a 10-turn buff, but it's a vile knowledge we want. And at the end of the day, that was a lot of cash. 10,000 cash and a free tormentor's sword for Throggy. I mean, the minus 26 melee attack is not a big deal, but the actually, the cannot move debuff is actually quite nice, because Throgg is quite a powerful fighter. And I do imagine he's going to try to... some enemy lords are going to try to get away from him. Plus, he got himself a level up. Let's see what we can take right away. We already have Primordial Master, so our Frostworm is quite powerful. I guess we gotta go with that early game dominating presence, especially since we want to upgrade our... well, the Frostworms as well, but we'll want to upgrade our Norse controls and ice trolls here. The thing I'm not noticing is any upgrades for the bile trolls and river trolls and stuff, the other troll units that we are to get from our outposts. I don't see any upgrades for them here. I hope that SFO didn't add them sans upgrade. And I hope that just every troll upgrade affects them as well. Plus 5% ward save for trolls out of the Hulks of Death as well. That's looking quite glorious. I mean, with regards to Throgg, I'm almost tempted to spend 2 early points into hard to hit, just because this seems like 40 melee defense is a little bit weak if he gets surrounded. You know what, yeah, I think I've convinced myself. Let's go with hard to hit. So now he's at 52 melee defense, quite a bit nicer. And then right after that, we will go through the... we will go a little bit through the infamous Marauder and Dominating Presence trees. Wait, actually not so much the infamous Marauder. This doesn't really give us that much. Yeah, so mostly Dominating Presence. We gotta remember to get to rank 8 and save up our stuff for this particular tree and get that Resilient Mutations early on. Ooh, 20% hit points. Oh, that'll stack nicely with Scarred Veteran, another 15. Lovely. King of Trolls is at 15 rank. Okay, okay. Ooh, and more missile resistance and regeneration for trolls. Anyway, I'm still riding that high from winning that battle. All right, let's go back into our March stance, Drakkar stance. And I guess we gotta book it towards the Aeslings. We gotta fight them anyway, since they haven't been confederated yet. And they have a single settlement. I do imagine that they will show up over here. Oh, they are fighting the World Walkers now. That's a little bit of an issue because Wulfric might confederate them. Oh well, the other option is we could move this way and try to find the leaders of the Hellspire tribe. The problem there is that they have 3 settlements, and they could really be anywhere. They could be here, they could be here, they could be all the way over here. And I don't want to go off on a wild goose chase. I feel like the... I feel like the Scalings are probably our better bet. But at the end of the day, I suppose we could move around this way instead of up and around this way, because we don't need to recruit anything. Yeah, it's not a horrible option. Let's go like this. There you go, Throgg. Good job, buddy. Good job. I'm very impressed with how much he wrecked that lord there. Alrighty, so we do have plenty of cash, but nothing to use it on, unfortunately. Let's build some stuff at least, and that was really the only thing we could build. We also really got to keep an eye out on our public order. We have no public order buildings, and the main line building only very, very slightly increases public orders. So yeah, we gotta keep our eye out on that just because. All right. I guess we can end this turn because there's nothing else to do. I was hoping to recruit an agent of some kind. We really need a shaman sorcerer in Throgg's army because he can't cast any spells, and it always irks me to have Winds of Magic available and nobody to use them. So we got to get one of those buildings ASAP. Hopefully one of the territories from one of our next confederations will have one of those for us. Hello, who do we have here? Game. Let's see. While riding across the sea, your warriors discover rich pickings in a coastal village that was easily overcome. So rich, it turns out, that your ships, already heavy with earlier plunder, cannot carry all you wish to take. What should they load up with, and what should they leave behind? So, free, minus 10% upkeep. So that's a 500 gold per turn, because our army currently costs about 5k, versus 20% replenishment. It's nice. It's nice, but we do have replenishment in our own territory already. I mean, I feel like both of these upgrades are quite swell. This will be amazing at the in late game. But if this is these guys' lord, then we gotta attack him. Man. Yeah, I feel like we gotta go with Abundance of Iron. Let's not them lose our early money. There we go. Who the hell are you? Ulis, the Lord. Well, isn't that cool? And are you the Lord of this? Chimera the Bloody Hound. Let's find out.
A timely arrival.
Yes, that's the Lord of... Why does the AI keep doing this? It's almost like the Chaos Gods are forcing these champions to go near Throgg and get wrecked. Now, our army is still hurt, but he's missing 2 units and we have a full stack. Plus we have a Frostworm. I do wonder what special unit this guy had. Also, we gotta get ourselves something. We could increase the charge bonus for the trolls, we could upgrade skin wolves and regu wolves, and let's see, or we could unlock monster hunts. I don't think we need to go for the monster hunts just yet, but I do think we're going to be using a lot of trolls, so we might as well go for this. The leadership for Marauder units I don't really care about. The only thing is this. The campaign movement range for 10% for armies does seem quite nice. I don't really give a damn about anything else here. We can go for it later. We got Marauder infantry upgrades. Wow, there's a lot of Marauder upgrades we will probably not use for a while. At least, I mean, our secondary lord will probably get a lot of mileage out of this, but Throgg's army is going to be almost entirely trolled. And I'm going to try to go for beast armies with this campaign as much as possible. I've heard you guys in the comments, and I feel the same way. We got to go loreful here, so we got to go a full Ice Wolves or Skin Wolves army. We got to go a Fimir army, and we got to use giants and mammoths and all that good stuff. Anyway, in the meantime, Chaos Surge, I think. We'll do this after. Actually, do we do this second? You know what? No, let's do this. I want that 10%, and then we'll go to Chaos Surge right after that. Throgg is the Chaos Surge. Alrighty, well, let's get another cinematic battle going. We should wreck these guys' faces quite quickly, especially as they start off with Vigor Winded, and that's real bad. They're not allied with anybody. They are not. Okay. Declare war, you silly bastards. Oh, wait, do we have a stance? I did say I don't want to use the rampage stance because it kind of hurts us. And then the other stances are kind of trash, so... Well, let's just do it. And attack. Now, what do you have? Ah, you have a Norscan Ice Troll unit. So, as long as we don't destroy this army completely, if we allow it to survive, we should get a free Ice Trolls out of it. I would love that. I don't really care about keeping anything else that this guy has. We are... Oh, we can actually auto-resolve this. This is how much of a victory it is for us. But I don't think I'm going to auto-resolve. I am going to have to make a cut because the last battle was a glorious cinematic battle. And this one... Well, this one should be an absolute slaughter. But nonetheless, the cut is necessary. Here we are. Time for slaughter. Alrighty. Here we go, Wintertooth versus Hellspire. Now, I'm not going to pay a crazy amount of attention to this particular battle because I do feel like it will be a slaughter. Although, we do have to remember that our Marauders are upgraded, whereas the enemy Marauders may very well be upgraded because the AI does have a tendency to get the basic upgrades for its basic units, which, depending on the faction, might make them a lot more powerful. Alright, Frostworm, opening breath coming in. Little bit of a miss there. I wish I had waited and put it more into the middle of a formation, but that's okay. That's okay, and then we get the hell out of there. We don't want the Frostworm getting hit by the Marauder Hunters with Javelins, as they are specialized to get it killed, or kill it, rather. I don't know why I'm... not very eloquent today, am I? Oh well. Not that I'm eloquent on most days, anyway. Alright, here we go. We are charging uphill, so we do have another slight disadvantage in that regard. On the bright side, with regards to fighting uphill like this, it does allow the range units to work a little bit harder, because they can hit more of the enemies. Well, it really depends on the angles and the type of unit, but it does work. Alright, there's some javelins coming in. The shield's doing work and blocking them there. The two main lines are about to touch, wink, and here we go. Enemy spears. Oh, I had forgotten that these spears are... they're unshielded spears. Right. For some reason I imagine them to be like the Empire Spearmen. And, oh, the arcing is actually pretty good with regards to the javelins. I mean, they're actually flying over our units instead of hitting them in the back. I'm actually surprised. Very nice. Good job. Good job, guys. We also have the Frostworm on the flank over here. I did send it to try to distract this particular unit of Marauder Hunters, and I actually was a little bit disappointed with this. It barely kills any of them, and it goes down to like half HP by the end of the battle, and then I have to get it out of this and have it supported by hounds. The thing is, it should do pretty well against this type of unit. Sure, at range they should be killing it, but not in melee like this. But oh well, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Of course, the big deal over here, you're looking at him, it's Throgg, wrecking lords as he likes to do. We sent him in straight towards the enemy chieftain, and I don't think he's going to have a good time, just as that vampire also had a terrible time. And I love Throgg's model. I really wish that CA hadn't done Throgg dirty with regards to his intelligence. It really makes him seem a little bit imbecilic, and not too different from a greenskin or most other trolls in the way he's depicted here. But this is not the case in the lore, where he's incredibly intelligent. There we go. And it's one of the fun things about playing him. So we also have the hounds coming in and attacking the enemy Marauder Hunters with javelins, just so that they don't do the same thing to us as we did to them. The enemy lord has routed after taking a ton of damage and doing nothing whatsoever to Throgg. Throgg just bulls over enemies. I like the legendary lords like this because they're always fun to watch. I was also enjoying Durthu very, very much because of this and my relatively recent Durthu campaign, because he towers over the battlefield. You can always see what the hell he's doing. Whereas some of the lords that just stand on foot, they get lost in the press. Anyway, the major point of this battle is actually probably on the flanks instead of the center, because we have Throgg and our trolls supporting the center. On this flank, we have one already hurt unit of Marauders basically holding off 3 enemy units, which is very, very heroic. I'm very impressed with these guys. They did a great job there, as we didn't have to use more resources to deal with all that nonsense. And yeah, this is what I was talking about with regards to the Frostworm. This was already a damaged unit, and look how much damage that it's taken. I really got to make sure to send it against like lords and enemy trolls and stuff. Speaking of trolls, we have our Bile Troll leading this flank over here, and this flank is another major portion of the battle because we have a little bit less resources committed here, and the enemy ice trolls did actually pretty good damage to our troops, but did get seen off by our axe throwers, who once again do clean up quite nicely. I feel like I really enjoy the axe throwers because they're basically the free company militia of the Norscans. They're close quarters infantry, they're decent in melee, but also have they also have a fairly nice flanking attack with their range attack. And Free Company Militia are a great unit. I love spamming those guys when playing the Empire. So these guys on this flank appear to have just decided to all rout. They're not going to be any kind of threat anymore. Their lord is running away. And in the center, mainly the Norscan Ice Trolls supported by a single unit of full HP Marauders remaining. But our own Ice Trolls are here as well. And you know what? I got to bet on Throgg's Ice Trolls being better than the regular Ice Trolls, even with the upgrades that they might have. And there we go. They're wreck and face. The enemy trolls are now routing. It looks like the chain route is here, and this battle is over. Really wasn't much to it. I did miss one thing. I did have the Frostworm lift off and breathe on these guys over here. They were held here all together, and then one single breath basically made them all rout and go below half HP. But still, these guys gotta give them the MVP for this particular battle and holding the line that long, being such a basic unit and not even dying at that. Well, MVP, first MVP, and then closely followed by Throgg, who absolutely obliterated the enemy lord and caused the chain rout to happen in the first place. Anyway, that's that. Alrighty, there we go. Once again, a pretty easy battle, but this time we were expecting it to be easy, just judging by the power level between the... we don't need to enslave captives. I feel like we could just regenerate over time, so let's get more money. We're gonna need this money eventually. And now, next turn, as soon as we end this turn, this guy is going to join his army. Oh no, it's this very turn. Okay, beautiful. Alrighty, so we're obviously going to confederate these guys as well. It's going to piss the rest of the Norscans off even more, but I don't mind. Form Confederation. There we go. And who's your leader? What does he have? He has a mutant. Enemy leadership. Yeah, we'll give that to Throgg. He's handsome. Well, that's a lot better than stupid. I wonder if he has any special stuff on him. War Mammoth, Marauder Chariot, Fury of the Hound. Oh. So he actually has special stuff. Oh, so there's actually a benefit to these lords. Oh, I can't wait to use these guys. Oh, damn, I gotta remember which guys are the chieftains and which guys aren't. Man. Okay, well, that's exciting. I assume this means Fury of the Hound being this guy's hound and not Khorne. Hound's unearthly fury is personified by its champion. No, it does mean Khorne. Oh, maybe they all have it. Oh, he also has Noxious Vessel, which is Nurgle. And, oh, okay, no, he has all of them. Damn. I thought he was a special lord for a second, got excited, but it doesn't look like it. I feel like they all have these, then. Yeah, oh well. Excitement for nothing. We will get rid of the rest of this army in a second. In fact, let's see. We can replenish our ranks here, can't we? Okay, first of all, what we're going to do is try to figure out what we need more of. I feel like we could use at least one more spear unit. We don't need to... Okay, yeah, you guys, let's join up, merge together. And then let's just merge all of... You know what, just merge. Merge everybody. There you go. And then... Then we will definitely take a free Ice Trolls, and then we will take one more spear unit, I guess one of the full HP ones. In fact, wait, take both the full HP ones and just replace our other one, so we don't have to spend time replenishing. Then take out you Marauders, we'll replace it with you and you. And 57 versus 63. Oh, Yeah, well, these guys will have to heal. And let's see, we're at 21, so we need to lose one more unit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Huh. And what am I missing here? I don't want to really get rid of any of these guys. Damn, did we get rid of another of these marauders with great weapons? They've been fairly useful. Almost tempted to replace the marauders with more marauders with spears. Oh, this guy's hurt. We could do that.
I can.
Is that good? Do we have too much of a battle line and not enough flankers? No, I feel like we have plenty of flankers. We have the Marauder Hunters. We'll just replace the Marauders with something else. I guess we could just have 3 of these regular Marauders instead of... we'd have to do that next turn. You know what? Screw it. We'll wait until one of those units dies. Because we can't... our armies can't join up anymore. So we will get rid of the rest of you guys. There we go, and now we're actually positive predicted income. So there's going to be a lot of administrative stuff to do between the episodes as I try to figure out what I want to build where. I am going to call this episode here because we are out of time. And now, is this guy the next another leader? Leaf? He is. Okay, so now we know where these guys are. If he keeps raiding this territory, we're going to book it right over here, see if we can't defeat him with Throgg next turn. And then after this guy, it'll just be the Ag Hole up north, the World Walker and Wolfric himself, and then the scaling with their 1 territory. Although I expect the scaling will become Wolfric territory any turn now. But I guess we'll see just how much of Norsca is remaining next time. So with that said, as always, I do appreciate any and all feedback with regards to the gameplay or the way I do things on this channel. If you have a second, please do leave a like and a comment to support the channel. It really helps. As always, all glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.